Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everybody. I'm delighted that so many of you could make it today. Let me introduce myself. My name is Dira Indah Utami. I'm a student at STKIP PGRI Sumatera Barat. In this opportunity, I would like to present the result of my research. The title of my research is The Effect of Two-State Technique to Student Reading Comprehension at SMA Negeri 15 Padang. Previously, I would like to say thank you to our lecturer, Ms. Suharni MPD. Well, to short the time, let's start it. We are going to Introduction, Background of the study. Reading comprehension indicates to the student ability to understand the reading text given. Reading is become something important and necessary for students in teaching and learning process because their success in study depends on the greater part of their ability in reading. The student who have good ability in understanding a text will be easier in catching the information from the text given. It is the process of combining textual information with the information a reader brings to the text. There are many techniques in cooperative learning classes which can be applied in classroom activities. One of them is two-state, which is adapted from Kagan. This technique will bring students to active learning process because students will learn more to process constructing and creating working in group and sharing knowledge. Two-state technique is very compatible to help students all involved in active learning because this strategy allows students to enhance their independence, individual accountability, interpersonal skills, face-to-face interaction, and their group processing when they work in group. Based on the background of the study, I would like to conduct a study under the title The Effect of Two-State Technique to Student Reading Comprehension at SMA Negeri 15 Padang. In this research, formulation of the problem is how is the effect of two-state technique to students reading comprehension and at SMA Negeri 15 Padang. Based on the identification of the problem above, the problem will be limited on the technique that the teacher used in teaching reading. In this case, the writer used technique from cooperative learning method that two-state technique. In line of the problem above, this study is expected to find empirical evidence whether or not the use of two-state technique is effective in reading. It is also expected to find whether there is a significant difference of achievement in reading comprehension between students who are taught by using two-state technique and the traditional method that currently is used by the teacher. The result of the study is intended to have several significance. First, for the English teacher in SMA Negeri 15 Padang in order to offer them a good way to teach their students and help them in increasing their reading comprehension through cooperative learning and two-state. Second, this study is also expected to bring good effect for students' reading comprehension and also to achieve student reading achievement. And third, for the further research, it will provide them basic information about teaching reading by using two-state technique. Next, we are going to review of literature. In this research, there are two topics that I will explain. First is reading and second is two-state technique. First of all, we are going to reading. Definition of reading comprehension. Reading is the process of transfer idea or information from the writer to the reader using the written language of the text. It means that the purpose of reading must be comprehension for the information in the text. Therefore, comprehension cannot be separated by reading. Comprehension is a part of reading. It may also be said that comprehension is the core point in reading. According to Francois-Grelet, that reading comprehension is an understanding a written text means extracting the required information from it as effectively as possible. Purpose of reading. According to Grab and Stoller, the purpose of reading has 7 main points, namely, first, reading to search for simple information, second, reading to skim quickly, third, reading to learn from text, fourth, reading to integrate information, next, reading to write, next, reading to critic text, and the last, reading to general comprehension. Kinds of reading. There are two kinds of reading. First, intensive reading, and second, extensive reading. Nuttall states that intensive reading involves approaching the text under the guidance of a teacher or a task, which forces the student to focus on the text. Next, extensive reading. The concept of extensive reading is different with intensive reading. Harmer explained extensive readings is a reading which students do often but not exclusively away from the classroom, such as reading novels, web page, newspapers, or magazines. Extensive reading also should involve reading for pleasure. Next, we are going to stay technique. Definition of to stay technique. According to Lai, to stay technique is a technique that gives the students chance to share their ideas, argument, and information to other group. In this technique, there are some activities. Then, by using this technique, the students help each other. The high level and the low level of students will work together to achieve the purpose of their group. Furthermore, to stay technique is very compatible to help students are involved in active learning because these techniques allow students to enhance their interdependence, individual accountability, interpersonal skills, face-to-face interaction, and their group processing when they work in one group. In learning process, this technique also can give the student experience in gathering information when they become the strayer to other group. In this activity, the students are encouraged to contribute their ideas to other students, and after they come back to their group, they must share the information they got from the other group to their own group. Next, the advantage of to stay technique. There are 5 advantages of to stay. First, giving an opportunity to the students to decide their own concept by solving the problem which is given to them. Second, giving an opportunity to the students to build their creativity and to communicate with their friends in one group. Third, forming the habit of students to open-minded with their friends. Next, increasing the student motivation in learning. And last, helping teachers to reach learning goal because the cooperative learning method is easy to be applied. Next, we are going to review of related finding. First, a research was done by Devi Kusumawati 2009 in with the title Pengaruh Metode Kooperatif Learning Teknik to Stay, Konsep Ekosistem Terintegrasi Nilai Terhadap Hasil Belajar Biologi. And second, Bunajat Thohir 2011 conducted a study in order to investigate the improvement of the ability of communication in math lesson with the title Meningkatkan Kemampuan Komunikasi Sisa Melalui Penerapan Model Pembelajaran Kooperatif Tipe to Stay di SMP Negeri 1 Jayanti. Next, conceptual framework. In this study, I can explain that the conceptual framework starts with the problem of reading comprehension using the two-stage technique. The technique in this study were observation checklist and multiple choice test question. From this technique, the results were obtained in order to improve student reading comprehension. Next, we are going to methodology research. Method of the study. In this study, researchers used quantitative research. This research was conducted using an experimental design. Amzir said a quote from Gay that experimental research is a research methodology that can be test hypotheses related to causal relationship. Next, the population and sample. Research conducted experiment at SMA Negeri 15 Padang. The population of the study were students of 8th grade of SMA Negeri 15 Padang. Research instrument. The instrument used to collect data in the study were the non-test instrument is an observation checklist, and the test instrument is in the form of multiple choice test question. Technique of data collection. Data collection technique in this study use a pre-test and post-test given to the sample. Next, technique of data analysis. In this study, the authors used the t-test formula as a data analysis technique. The t-test used to determine the effectiveness of two-state technique. Well, that's my presentation today. Thank you so much for your time and attention. May all those we have shared be beneficial for all of us. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.